What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing my Premier League predictions for the 2021-22 season. Obviously the season is about to start. It might have actually I'll get this up before the season starts 100%. So yeah, I'm just going to go through my predictions. I'm going to give my reasoning before you get in the comments and start ranting at me and shouting at me and calling me stupid and dumb and I don't know anything. Obviously you're allowed to disagree. And if you want to beef me in the comments, let's fucking go. At the end of the day, I love beef. So, yeah. The team who I think is going to finish bottom, Brentford. Now, you might think, oh, he's just a salty QPR fan. He's being biased. But I have my reasons, and I will explain them. So, first of all, I think Tony is a player that Brentford are heavily reliant on. And you know what? He's their best player. Of course, they're going to be heavily reliant on him. But I feel like he will get an injury, and even if he doesn't get an injury, step up to the Premier League with better defenders, faster defenders who could neutralise him. Could be tough for him. And while I'm saying this, I can also see Brentford finishing as high as 12th if he continues to bang like he did in the Championship. Because he's a very good player and he is their key man, and if anything happens to him, Brentford are done for. If he has a dry spell, Brentford are done for. And I just think he will get an injury, and or he'll go through a dry spell, and I just don't know if they have enough to try and work around that. Let's just say, but you know they're a very good attacking team, and hopefully, if QPR do get promoted, which I believe we will. Brentford don't get relegated, just so we can have at least one West London derby in the Premier League, because I would love to see us smash them in the Premier League. In 19th, I am going to go with Watford. Now, Watford finished second in the Championship last season. Obviously got automatic promotion. Brentford won the playoffs. But yeah, I just don't know. I just don't have a good feeling about Watford, man. I feel like their squad, they have some good players, but it's just, yeah, I don't really know. I just have a feeling they're not going to do very well. And yeah, they're going to finish 19th. And in 18th, I'm going to go with Crystal Palace. Now, this is a weird one, you know. Crystal Palace are a team who I have predicted to get relegated a lot. Last season, I didn't, just because whenever I do, they just seem to not. But now they've lost Roy Hodgson to retirement. I just don't know if another man can come in and just do it for them. Like, obviously they've still got quality players, you know, Zaha, Eze, who will hopefully be fit for the start of the season. But it's a weird one, man. It's just, again, they don't have they have obviously like Zaha and Eze, two very, very good players. And if Palace do get relegated and QPR get promoted, Eze could come back home, boys. He could come back to the Kyan Prince Foundation Stadium. But yeah, they just don't have enough quality, in my opinion, man. And without Roy Hodgson there, I think it's just gonna be too hard for them to stay up. And in 17th, I'm going with Norwich, the final promoted team. I believe they will have enough to avoid relegation, which is weird because I can easily see Norwich just getting bottom of the table again. But I feel like it's such a yo-yo team, and they win the Championship, finish bottom of the Prem, win the Championship, you know, it's like, it's weird, man. But I think they'll be able to survive. Obviously they've lost Buendia, a big player for them, very good player as well, to Aston Villa. But yeah, Pukki's still there, you know, he's a good goal scorer in the Championship. Can he make the step up this time? We'll have to wait and see. 16th, I've gone with Southampton. They've just lost Danny Ings, who has been their talisman for a couple of years. Che Adams was not great last season. He will need to bang for them to survive, I think. But they've got a good manager in Ralph Hasenhüttl. But yeah, the loss of Ings is huge, man. If he was still there, I would put Southampton closer to mid-table. But with him gone, it's going to be very hard for them to have a memorable season, if we're going to be real here. Oh, whoops. In 15th, I've gone with Burnley. Burnley again are a weird team, man. They finished seventh, well, quite a few years ago now. Last season they did not have a good season. They were just lucky that the other teams were not good at all, who got relegated. But yeah, Sean Dyche, solid manager. He always seems to keep him up. Now anyway, they finished 17th last season, but they were 11 points clear of relegation, so they weren't ever really threatened. But yeah, again another mediocre season for Burnley. Nothing too special there. In 14th, I've gone with Newcastle. Newcastle finished 12th last season, but just don't see him doing that well. I think Steve Bruce got a lot of criticism for his very defensive style of play. Oh, let's hope you could not see who the next team was. Oh, okay, well, it's been ruined now anyway. But anyway, yeah, he was obviously very defensive. But Newcastle do have some good players. Alan Saint-Maximin is an incredible player, especially on FIFA. Yeah, it's a weird one. I don't think he'll be able to do it himself. Obviously, Joel Linton didn't really bang. Andy Carroll, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if he's still there now, but yeah, they don't have a great team, but I think their team is better than Southampton, for example, especially because of the loss of Ings now. I could see them finishing behind Burnley, but you think of Burnley and you just don't think of a good player. But you think of Newcastle, Alan Saint-Maximin, he's a very good player. So that's why I've gone with Newcastle ahead of Burnley. 13th, you've already seen it, Wolves. Obviously, Wolves lost their manager Nuno to Tottenham, and they banged another guy in. Wolves had a very disappointing season last year. They finished 13th, which is where I predicted this season as well. But yeah, they had a very good season before, I believe. In 2019-20, they finished 7th, which was their first season in the Prem. Oh no, sorry, the second season in the Prem. They also finished 7th in 2018-19. But complete drop off last season. And obviously with Jimenez, he had this big head injury last season, which was very sad to see. Luckily he's alright now. But yeah, just don't really see him doing too well, if I'm going to be honest. Which is why I put him 13th again. In 12th, I've gone with Everton. Last season they finished 10th. Carlo Ancelotti's gone. Everton are a weird team, man. Every single year they seem to bring in some good players for a lot of money, and then they just don't perform. They just don't do well at all. And yeah, I think it's going to be the same thing again. They're just going to massively underperform and just be disappointing, to be honest. So yeah, not too much to say on them. In 11th, I've gone with Leeds. Leeds actually finished 9th last season. Promoted teams in the second season seem to do a little bit worse than they did in their first season because the momentum from the promotion has gone. 11th for Leeds, still a good place to be. Don't really like their new kit as well, just putting that out there. But yeah, obviously Bamford played well for them last season. Calvin Phillips as well had an insane World Cup, very, very good player. And, he is a player that Leeds are very lucky to have because he could probably go into a lot of the big six teams and start a lot of games. So I think Leeds will drop off a little bit, as most teams do, but they'll still record a very respectable finish. In 10th, I've gone with Arsenal. Now, Arsenal were quite good in the second half of last season, but overall they were not good, and they finished 8th. They haven't really brought too many good players in. I think a lot of other teams have strengthened, which is why I'm not putting them any higher. Obviously, Bukayo Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe is going to be very key seasons for them. It's like they're coming of age time now. Will they be able to have those big performances that they need? We'll have to wait and see. I just don't think Arteta's good enough, I'm going to be honest. Aubameyang's getting old now as well. Just terrible last season. Defensively, I just don't think they're very good. Leno's a good keeper, but the defenders, it's been a problem for them for years. And yeah, I just don't see him doing very well. Obviously, you never know. Smith Rowe, Saka, they could just be insane if it put Arsenal in the Champions League spots, but I just don't think that's going to happen. So I'll put them 10th. In 9th, I'll go with West Ham. Obviously, last season, West Ham had a very good season where they finished 6th. They have lost Lingard, so I don't think they'll be as good next season, or this season, I should say. But I still think they'll do all right. Not to the same heights as last season. No European football unless they win a domestic cup. But for West Ham anyway, I think they'll do all right. Obviously, West Ham fans, I feel a bit sorry for you. Like, there's some seasons where you're threatened with relegation, and then you're getting near the Champions League. It's gonna be tough being a West Ham fan. But yeah, in 9th place for them. In 8th, I've gone with Aston Villa, and I can actually see them finishing a bit higher. The reason I've gone with them here is because they have lost Jack Grealish, but they've strengthened in other areas, like a lot. They're bringing Danny Ings, they've got Leon Bailey, and they've got Buendia from Norwich. That's 3 very good attacking options. And yes, Grealish has carried them for years. He's been their main man for years. And to lose him is going to be a big loss for them, and obviously it's going to take a while for the new signings to settle in, and that's why I think they might struggle at the start, but then pull it back and get 8th, because the players they bought in are very, very capable players, and to get 100 mil for Grealish and then not spend as much on these players, good business from them. So I could easily see Aston Villa getting like 5th or 6th, but I think they might start off a little bit slowly, which is why I'm predicting them to finish 8th. Obviously, they've got decent defenders on Mings. He's got Konsa as well, good player. But yeah, 8th place for Aston Villa. Oh, whoops, done the same thing again. In 7th, I've gone with Tottenham. Now, this is subject to Harry Kane staying at the club. If Harry Kane leaves, I think Tottenham finish below Arsenal, potentially. And yeah, that's a big statement, but I genuinely, without him, they're done for. Son's way too inconsistent. He's a good player on his day, but that day doesn't come often enough. And if Harry Kane goes to Manchester City, yeah, they're Tottenham are in the bin. They didn't renew Gareth Bale's loan or bring him in permanently, so he's gone. And he was one of their best players last season. They're just a club in turmoil, man. And I think the most exciting thing to come out of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium next season will be the Anthony Joshua Alexander Usyk fight, if I'm going to be completely honest. But enough said about them. In 6th, you might be wondering where Brighton were, and I'm predicting them to do very well this season. And again, I just don't know why. I have a gut feeling they're going to do well. This could be the one prediction that really screws me up at the end of the season, where I'm calculating how many points I got. And obviously, the higher the amount of points, the worse you do. And Brighton could end up finishing 17th and cost me 11 points. But I'm going to believe in them, Last season, they performed very well in terms of XG, where they were like the 3rd best in the league or some shit. But they did finish 16th. So, you've got to hope they'll be a bit more clinical this season. They've lost Ben White to Arsenal. I forgot to mention that as one of Arsenal's defence signings. 50 mil for him is an absolute robbery from Brighton. Like, how Arsenal agreed to that is ridiculous. English player tax is honestly just absurd. It's the amount of extra money you have to pay for an English player is just mind blowing, to be honest. But yeah, I'm predicting Brighton to finish 6th, and again, I don't know why. I just feel like they'll get a lot of 1-0 wins. It'll be like when Burnley finished 7th a few years ago. They're not spectacular to watch, but they get the results. And I went to Brighton the other day, and I hope they do decent as well. They, got some good players. Obviously, Neil Maupay, formerly of Brentford, he's had some good games. He needs to be a bit more consistent. But yeah, if Dunk and Duffy, they're very good. Actually, I think one of them left. Could be wrong about that. But Ryan as well, good goalkeeper. So hopefully Brighton do decent. 5th, I've gone with Manchester United. Controversial, I know, they've been very active in the market. Varane and Sancho, huge signings. You might say title contending signings. But I don't know, maybe it's because I hate United. I'm predicting that I can just see him struggling against the smaller teams who park the bus, like against likes of Southampton and Burnley and Norwich. I can see him struggling and getting a lot of 0-0 draws. Obviously last season they got second, but that's not because they were good, it's just because everyone else was terrible. And I don't see him being able to get second again this season. I'm predicting to finish 5th, and Ole will get sacked, I think, in like March. Maybe even sooner. Maybe they'll start off horribly and in like November he's gone. I don't know. But I don't think he's going to be Manchester United manager after the season. In 4th, I've gone with Leicester City. Now, Leicester are a team who have bottled 4th place on the last day of the season for the last 2 years. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Because I do quite like Leicester. They've got a good squad. You know, Vardy is getting on a bit now, but Kelechi Iheanacho looks to be a decent goal scorer. He was their top scorer last season as well, so looks like they should be alright there. If James Maddison stays, I think they'll get 4th. If he leaves, it's a different story, but why would you go from Leicester to Arsenal, man? Leicester still at least have Europa League. Arsenal do not have any European football, which could actually help them in terms of their league finish this season. Obviously, no Europe means more rest time for the squad, less tiredness. They could finish a lot better than what I've predicted them to be honest. I have been a bit negative with Arsenal, but yeah, this isn't about Leicester. I think Leicester just have a good squad, man, and Brendan Rodgers is a good manager as well. I think this is the year where they don't bottle it on the last day of the season. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I want to see him do well. In 3rd, I've gone with Liverpool. Now, this is obviously my Premier League team that I support. But I just don't think we've got the facilities to compete with Chelsea and Manchester City this season. Chelsea have brought in Lukaku, Manchester City have brought in Grealish. Obviously, Kane's rumoured to be going there. Messi could theoretically, when I'm recording this anyway, still go there. By the time I'm recording, he might have gone to PSG. Or maybe City, I don't know. Actually, no, he won't go to City. Aguero left City to go play to go play with Messi at Barcelona. There's no way Messi joins City. Now, that would be a huge help for Aguero. But yeah, still, Liverpool have brought in Kanate, very good player, but he doesn't sort out our defensive issues, considering the fact that Kabak's gone back on loan. So if we have a defensive injury crisis like we did this season, you know, I still feel like we should have tried to bring Coutinho back as a more creative midfielder, bring in another striker or winger to provide some more competition for the front three. We've done nothing, and you know, usually I'm very optimistic with Liverpool. I predict us top of the league. I'm being realistic this season. I don't think we get top of the league. I think we get 3rd, and now that is also me assuming there will be injuries this season. I think if the squad stays fit, we will probably finish 2nd at least, potentially even 1st, because of how ridiculous our first team is. But we just do not have the cover necessary to compete if we do have any injuries, or if players are tired or taking knocks and stuff. And I think Manchester City and Chelsea just have better squad depth than us. Obviously, if we have the same luck as we did season before, the one that's just happened, and the one before that, where a whole team stays fit, like I said, 1st or 2nd, but I just don't see that happening again. And I don't think the injury crisis will be as bad as last season, but I do think we will have injuries, and that could ruin some games for us. But yeah, who am I going to predict to win the title, Chelsea or Manchester City? I'm predicting it to be Manchester City. I think Chelsea will get 2nd. They've rumoured to be signing Lukaku. He's done a medical. I think it's all but confirmed at this point. I don't know why I said rumoured. Obviously, he's a very good player. He had an insane season at Inter Milan last season, and I think he will come to Chelsea and bang in goals. Werner's also getting in very good positions. His finishing has been a bit of a letdown for Chelsea, and that's why if he goes onto the wing, I think it'll be insane, because he can just put balls into Lukaku. He'll be in dangerous positions, and if his shooting can improve, then Chelsea will score a lot of goals. Obviously, Havertz has been good. He obviously won the Champions League, and just in general, they finished 4th last season, but I do think Lukaku is a huge addition for them. Good leader as well. Great goal scorer. and I think that's what they were missing with Werner. His goal scoring was not good last season. And Manchester City in first, they won the title last season. They brought in Jack Grealish this season. It's just, it's hard to see anyone being able to overthrow them. If Kane goes a result, it's a wrap. That's it. They've won the league, and they've probably won it for the next 3-4 years, unless another club makes some big transfers. Not much more to say on them. Just alright, guys. So I'm recording this just a couple of hours before the Brentford Arsenal game. So first, I just want to say I was very harsh with Arsenal. I don't know what I was saying about their bad defense. They were like the third best defensive team last season, in the second half of the season. And with Ben White, obviously they're going to be strong defensively, but I just don't think they have good enough attacking players. They've got Saka and Smith Rowe, who two good young players. I don't think Smith Rowe is ready for like constant first team football. I think Saka is, because he played well at the Euros. But even if Smith Rowe is, Aubameyang's finished now in my opinion. Just don't think he's going to get any goals. And Arteta is a very negative manager, very focused on defence. So yeah, I think if Tottenham lose Kane, this will change. Tottenham will finish below Arsenal. Villa will move up 7th. Arsenal will move. So I've changed it a little bit. I put West Ham a bit lower. Yeah, Europa League will mess with their fitness. You know, obviously they're going to be playing a lot of European games. And yeah, I've decided to also move Southampton up, which is what I want to talk about, because they have signed the boy Adam Armstrong. Obviously, QPR career mode legend. If you watch that series, you'll know how good he is. Very fast striker, different player to Ings, and he may not bang straight away, but he's still a very good player, and I think he will do well for them, which is why I've bumped them up quite a few places from 16th to 12th. But yeah, now this is going to be the end of the video. Thank you for watching. See you again soon for another video.